Welcome to the Rocket Launcher podcast. This is episode 160. I am your host, Supreme King, and join with me, as always, is my co-host, and his name is.
It's your guy Amazes.
How you liking the snowy season? It's just getting started. It seems a little
I'm
light.
cool with the cold. I hate the snow.
You hate the snow.
I don't like having to go out.
I'm trying to prepare for it myself. I like to hibernate as much as I can in the snow season. But yeah, at the same time, it's a cool season for gaming. Cool season. We got the Game Awards that's coming up in a week. Actually, we're fresh off of Black Friday. Plenty of sales, plenty of deals. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of cool releases in between this time. And just, cool time for gaming. I do want to set the tone. So we'll talk about the Game Awards nominees first. This footage on the screen is Lords of the Fallen. I think it's going to switch in about 5 minutes to Kirby Air Riders. And Kirby Air Riders I'll speak on in a second. And then after Kirby Air Riders, we'll go into the Game Awards, basically. But we had a little bit of a hiatus here and there. I'm actually excited because when we get to like our Black Friday purchases and stuff, I'll get into like a bunch of stuff I bought for gaming, but then there's a bunch of stuff that I got also for YouTube. To at the start of the year just jump back in like I was before, where maybe my quality might not be as like, it might not be a lot of crazy editing, but it'll be enough stuff where I can at least give my thoughts here and there on some of the latest news, some of the coolest stuff, hopefully it'll turn out great. But I just wanted to mention that at the start for anybody who was rocking with me. I know I took like maybe 2 years, it seems like, where there was not really real content coming on here, but excuse me, I'm planning to just come back we'll do like maybe a one video a week or something like that. Cool setup. I'm so excited to talk about my mini gaming setup that I put together, that I think a lot of people probably could put together very cheaply during the Black Friday section. But other than that, can I deviate for just 1 second? I just want to say one thing for the people out there. Definitely try some Korean hot pot. You know what I'm saying? I know that's some food stuff, but it was good, man. I just talked to you about it like briefly off air. I just gotta say it was some good stuff. It was good stuff. For anybody who's not familiar, you have like a little bit of a soup. Maybe it's spicy, maybe it's not spicy. Maybe it's more of a vegetable mix, like a big broth soup. And then you have some really thin pieces of meat and vegetables. And you kind of put it in there. You swish it around for like 5 to 30 seconds. And then you take it out or you eat it, or you might dip it into some like, sweet and sour sauce or some other type of sauce that's maybe a little bit more spicy. And it's just a good old time, man. It might be a little messy. You might throw some ramen in there. You might have like a little bit of rice or something on the side. I just thought it was a good old time. I just want to mention to the people. Anything you've had, nice food wise, anything recently you might want to tell the people?
So I was bragging about this the other day. I made it at home. So the Betty Crocker like fudge brownies?
Okay.
I mixed that, but instead of making like a brownie tin, I separated them into muffin tins because originally I was going to go to a brunch and I was trying to make something where everybody can get some easily, but the brunch got canceled. That's its own story. But I used it in the muffin tins and then cut up cream cheese and just stuck cream cheese in each one. So when it baked around the cream cheese. So I had cream cheese stuffed muffin brownies.
Okay. Sounds pretty sweet. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We're jumping headfirst into the Christmas season, and then after that, deep winter season, basically. So I hope everybody is nice and snuggled in, cuddled in, nice and warm with their gaming, with their hot cocoa. enjoying yourself. This footage is about to switch to Kirby Air Riders. This is Lords of the Fallen. It was a quick little boss fight. Kirby Air Riders, though. I just want to mention that's a brand new game for the Switch 2. And this game just came out maybe, I want to say about a week or two ago. Shout out to the Switch 2. I think they've had a consistent amount of releases now, actually, on their platform since their launch. Because I'm actually not gonna play the game on screen yet, but Metroid Prime 4 did just come in the mail for me today. But for me, I actually do cherish Metroid as a series. I'm gonna go through the series chronologically, so I'm going to get to that game a little bit later. The Prime series is still actually, funny enough, early on in the Metroid time frame, and then Metroid Dread is like the last game. But that's that. Kirby Air Riders. So this part right here is the tutorial section. I was just trying to get a sense of how to play the game. I'm gonna be honest with you. This part looks a little bit slower. But when you actually play this game the way it's intended with like other racers on screen, I honestly, this footage is kind of short because I'm gonna be honest, I had to cut it off. It was it was too much going on. It's too much colors on the screen at one time. It was too much ADD action going on. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come back to it. I'm not ready for it. I'm gonna be honest, that was me. You'll see in a second. It was just chaos. It was so much chaos. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was fun. And I was starting to catch on, but I was just like, yo, like it was hurting my brain a little bit, like with everything that was going on. Right here, it was just, the thing was just trying to teach me how to drift and stuff. It really is one of those games where you have a boost button that I was like kind of like pushing a lot. But the game is still set up where it's still pushing you forward, and you're actually supposed to be just moving left and right. I was making a bad habit of tilting the controller forward, so it was making him scrape the ground forward a little bit, and that's what was slowing him down. And I didn't understand it until I got to the point where I was in the races. So you don't actually want to do that. You really only want to tilt left and right, and then hit the B button to boost, basically. But this is Meta Knight, a character within the Kirby franchise. I believe the first game you only played as Kirby. They changed the colors up. This one you can play as different characters within the Kirby franchise, and there's your main ones that you might know, either from playing other Kirby games or playing Super Smash Brothers. And then there's a few of them that you might not know unless you are really a Kirby player. So it was a lot of stuff that I didn't know when people was unlocking people. I was like, oh, I don't know who that is. But okay, but at least they let you play as Meta Knight from the very beginning. Meta Knight, King DDD, I believe, and Kirby. I think I've seen King DDD at the beginning, but here you can still switch different different gliders and stuff you might want to be on. It's still somewhat combat based where you can fight each other as you're driving. You can throw things at each other, and you can like sword swipe. So like you can kind of see that Meta Knight has like a little sword on his hand. If he gets close enough, you can kind of hit somebody with the sword. It makes a lot of the same sound effects as what you're most used to hearing in Super Smash Brothers. And I do think it's a fun title, but I'm gonna be honest, like you'll see, because this footage is almost halfway done. It was 12 minutes of footage. Like once I got on there and was playing against the computer a little bit, I was like, yo, what is happening? It was just too much. And what was so funny was one of the last races, the entire time I didn't know what was going on, and I somehow ended in first place. And I was like, that's good enough. That was good enough. I got the footage. I'm done. That's what I said. It was just kind of crazy. Now, somebody else I know, sent me a message saying that he felt like this game was better than the Mario Kart World, and that this should have been the one that they led with, which is an interesting take. I'm not that far into playing neither one of the games to really just say one's better than the other. I mean, obviously Mario Kart has the name value and is probably was the better choice to sell the system. But
Yeah.
if you're a hardcore Nintendo fan, maybe you might think this is better. And that's an interesting thing to have two really nice, racers on a platform if you're really hardcore for that platform. But really, this is all me just trying to get used to the controls. There's a light thing that you can see there that I was technically supposed to be following, but I mean, at some point you kind of just know where to go after doing it so many times. But
Okay.
you can see I'm still accidentally tilting forward. Like if you're playing any other racer, including Mario Kart, you would tilt forward as you're driving forward. But in this game, you almost have to fight that. You do not want to tilt forward. You want to just slide left, slide right, which is actually the same situation with the first game that was back on GameCube. There was a couple boards because if you remember, I played the entire game basically in about 20 minutes in on the GameCube on here maybe a month or two ago. And those races were like 2 minutes long. They were very quick. It was over as soon as it started, and I played through all the boards and was done. But here, just you'll see how chaotic it's about to get in a second. But like those same boards, they remixed them basically, and so the boards are actually more basically remade the boards basically. So you got new boards for this game, and then they've remade the old boards, and you'll notice it if you've recently played the game. Now a lot of people you probably didn't, like more than 95% was probably didn't recently play the first one. I just did it because I had access to it, right? But I was able to recognize the boards, and it was really nice to see how they've upgraded it. And then the boards themselves are a little bit longer, so it feels like an actual race. Where in that first game, the race was over in less than 2 minutes. It was like, that's not a race. It probably is a race to somebody, but it's like that just felt like you didn't do anything. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know if I would say better than Mario Kart, but you see how it's like so much faster now, and it's just like certain stuff will be on the screen and stuff. I was just like, yo, like the entire time I was trying to concentrate on how to basically drive. I wasn't even concerned with fighting nobody. But it was just too much, just like stuff just going across the screen, too many colors at one time. I was like, all right. Because right now I look little on the screen because I have it within the podcast, within OBS. But imagine that full screen. And it's going that fast. So you see how that color just goes. It was just enough. It was kind of too much for me at the moment. But it was still fun. From the footage that you see, how do you feel about it? Just first reaction to it, like if this was a trailer to you.
Like it looks like it's fun to play for a couple rounds, but I feel like I'd start to get a little bored because of how quickly it moves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I guess some of the action stuff is nice that it's not just purely just race. I don't know. It feels like it's like really trying to keep track. It seems like something that'd be fun with friends.
Yeah, I
And
don't know
everything,
who
and
this is.
everybody's like screaming. And, yeah. Everybody, Waddle is what is that? Waddle do?
Waddle
It's Waddle
do.
do, man.
It's a waddle do. There you
Yeah,
go.
I feel like with friends like screaming and everybody messing up and yelling at each other, I think that'll make it really fun. But probably not something I would like 100 hours in or something.
Depending on your age and if you're responsible, this probably would be like the craziest drinking game type
That
game.
too, yeah.
Because this is just, it was chaotic, and then it's like it's hard to focus, and then if you're doing that and drinking at the same time, it's like, oh my god, right?
Not focused on it at all.
Because it was just that's how it was. It was just so chaotic. I was just like, what is happening? But it was fun. I don't regret having it. I will say like you don't want because you see how everybody blasts off, but I didn't. It was because I kept accidentally tilting and holding I think the boost button, which actually doesn't make you blast off right then and there. So now I gotta catch it back up. But yeah, I forgot when I played this. I think I played this like a week to 2 weeks ago. Um, but yeah, it's still fun. It's still a lot of fun. Um, but I do think this is still a Switch 2 exclusive. Is not on the Switch 1. So you do have to have the latest Nintendo hardware for it. I did play on the Pro controller. I didn't play with the Joy-Cons or any type of third-party controller. Um, and that's with Nintendo. I like to have everything docked anyway, because that's also how I capture the footage and stuff for this. So yeah, that was where I was with it. It wasn't it. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't, in my opinion, an elite racer. I'm big on racing games. I wouldn't put this ahead of my go-tos, which is like Hot Wheels 1 and 2, maybe the Sonic Racer one. Those are the ones I'm kind of playing right now. Obviously, the Forzas, the Gran Turismos. But I don't think that's what this is trying to be. I think it's just trying to be a Kirby game that's fun for Nintendo fans. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, this is when I'm telling you, I was like, I don't know what is happening. Like when you're playing this, you're trying to survive. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to survive, and it was just stuff was just happening. It looks a little bit more easier to concentrate and watch when you're just watching, but man, playing it, I was just like, what is happening? But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Let's segue. Let's move on. Real quick, tell me about Dead by Daylight. You wanted to mention something about it?
Yeah, so continuing with the crossovers, and in the spirit of what just released, they're going to be releasing a Chapter 2 for Stranger Things, which is crazy because I think due to licensing, they had to get rid of the Chapter 1 stuff. So if you bought it, it was yours, but they took it down from the store so people couldn't buy it after. But now they're doing a Chapter 2 for Stranger Things. And so far, the thing that I know that was confirmed is they're going to have Vecna, which is funny because Vecna's already in the game. It's just the Dungeons and Dragons actual Vecna, and then they're going to be putting in the TV show Vecna, which they do different things. So I'm interested to see how they do this one. And I imagine if they bring back that 2 killer 8 survivor mode, that people are going to try and pair up Vecna with Vecna. But they're bringing that, and they're probably going to have 2 of the survivors, maybe Hopper and somebody. But yeah, they're repartnering with Stranger Things.
Okay, I wonder why they lost contract in between or something. But
Netflix probably wanted more money, and they said we're good.
yeah,
Because they're like, anybody who wants it got it already. Like if you play people with it, they're like, it'll pop up. So it's not like they're playing with exclusive stuff. It's just they had access to an extra killer and 2 survivors that if you didn't buy it right away, you don't have access. But most people, it wasn't anybody like, I think for regular D&D players, or not D&D, Dead by Daylight players, by the time it gone away, anyone who was ever going to get it got it. And anyone who wasn't going to get it, the only people that would miss out is if someone jumped into the game now. But at that time, it was like, oh, that's fine. I'm not going to get this anyways. I don't think anybody was really, anybody who was tore up that it was gone just didn't like the idea that it's gone, right? The whole game preservation stuff and keeping everything there. But even then, I don't think they were planning to grab it.
all right. This is Astrobot. I'm actually going to reintroduce this footage next week because I see us doing the screen tear. That's like a PlayStation thing. I wanted to have this on there to talk about the Game Awards, but I am going to
welcome to the best game ever.
Switch it. No, it clearly is not. So let's let's switch it out to something that's actually going to play. Well, okay. So Astrobot. So yes, I did play Astrobot for this. I'm actually playing it because it's like Christmas time, but or one of the games I'm playing because it's Christmas time. I'm playing like almost everything. But anyways, the Game Awards. So the Game Awards is in 1 week. That is going to be December 11th, somewhere around I think 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Probably 7. Don't quote me. Don't. Or maybe you can look it up real quick while I pull the actual nominees. Um, but yes, the Game Awards. Obviously, the fan favorite is you know who. That has over 33 nominees for every qualifying category, and I think they did that on purpose.
8
Um,
p.m.
8 p.m. Okay. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 nominated over every qualifying category. I actually must have read that
And
wrong.
and they
Hmm.
want to introduce another category because of the game.
Absolutely.
It ain't happening this year, but like Charlie Cox, the Daredevil, that guy, he's one of the
Mm,
voice. I think he's the lead voice in the game, and he got nominated for like voice acting and being himself and like the
mm,
humble dude that he's shown to be. He was like, "Thank you, but I think the motion capture guy should be the one." Like he name dropped him. Was like, "That's who should be winning an award over this." Like it wasn't just me that brought this character to life. He did too. And then a couple other voice actors were like, yeah, motion capture people should start getting credit
mhm.
for this stuff because it's not just the voice actor that does it, right? Sometimes they have separate people, so they should get their own category. So now people are pushing for them to add a motion capture category as well as the voice acting one.
Okay. Yeah, I did read some, or I heard something about that, which is cool because I think, uh, because of our hiatus, we didn't cover it, but there was an award show that was called the Joystick Award, and Expedition 33 swept most of those awards on that show as well. And it won their game of the year basically in that category, which I think was like Ultimate Game of the Year or something like that. Um, and so, yeah, this game is probably going to sweep a lot of different awards all throughout this thing, including the big one. But I do want to mention because I have the list in front of me. So the official 6 games is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and then Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Um, I do believe some of these are here for certain reasons, but at least I just have to say, per my research, at least every game here has an established fan base this time around. With more than 1 million sold when the game came out, I was like, oh, they finally actually, put some logic
I
together.
can't
They
I can't
probably
think
put
of a
some
year that
logic.
didn't have I can't think of a year that did not have a solid fan base around it, sir.
So finally they got some solid fan bases around the game, except for one particular game on here that sold like the last year's game of the year, which was Death Stranding 2 On the Beach. I was looking at, I was like, this one's sales look a little funky. This one's around 1.3, 1.4 million. Why is he here? Oh, maybe because Kojima is buddies with the other guy. I was like, oh, okay, maybe. Because that's similar to what happened last year. We all know that story. But anyways, everybody else has an
Just
established
hater.
fan base here. Everybody
Uh-huh.
else, proper sales. I checked for everything. Shout out to Hollow Knight Silk Song, because a lot of people were saying that one is probably a close second. That one has a very big fan base that really took Steam by storm earlier on, not too long ago. Um, I honestly, be honest with you, I feel like Donkey Kong is here for like the token for Nintendo. I don't expect that one to win at all. But Death Stranding is here because he's buddies. That's how I feel. Hades, I think he's here just based on some popularity. similar to Hollow Knight, but I honestly think this comes down to Claire and Hollow Knight a little bit,
Oh, for
but
sure.
really it's just Claire. I honestly think it
Is
is.
there
Um,
anything you're surprised is not nominated, even if you didn't think it was gonna win?
I mean, in this particular case, like I know there's a whole bunch of people who felt there's a whole nother fan base that I'm gonna get to in a second, but there were some people who felt like Ghost of Yote should have been in this particular category. Split Fiction was another one that people said should
That's
have been
one that
in
I'm
this
surprised
one.
about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised Split Fiction didn't hit that nomination. And unfortunately, I think it is maybe not because I don't know if After Clair Obscura would have gotten as much attention, but I feel like it is one of those games that just because it came out so early. Because when it came out, everybody was praising it, right? And
Yeah,
then now it's sort of relatively forgotten about. Not
I
really, but
I
like
think with
not as
these type of things though, they try to like appease certain fan bases a little bit. But I
yeah,
feel like Hollow Knight and Hades 2 fan bases intertwine a little bit, and
a little
maybe
bit.
Split Fiction could have taken the place of Hades, not so much Hollow Knight.
I think it
Um,
should have taken Donkey Kong's place. I know
Donkey
it's like
Kong,
the
yeah.
Nintendo just guarantee, but I didn't hear anyone go, "Oh my god, great game." I have heard it's fun or constant complaints. Like I haven't
Hmm.
heard like or like
It's there
there's
because it's
nothing really to
Nintendo.
do.
It's there for
Yeah,
Nintendo, basically.
but like if that's the case, I feel like I don't know. I feel like you could argue more, even though it got like a lot of flack too. Mario
Hmm.
Kart World, and it's just established characters. They did even if it wasn't the 100% best well received
Hmm.
as we can see. It was innovative enough to feel different, like from what I've seen from like some of the other like doing more. So I don't know. I just felt like even if it didn't win, and I would have been like that's this Nintendo pick. That
Hmm.
felt like a more reasonable Nintendo pick than
That's the
this.
funny thing, because if you do that, then you would have to like put the Sonic game there instead of the Mario game. According to the streets, the Sonic Crossroads is better. That's what the streets are saying. Don't shoot the messenger.
That's true.
But
But
yeah.
also, there's another game that I'm surprised. I don't think it was gonna win, and maybe not. Like I'm not like this isn't like I can't think of anything to fully replace outside of
Mhm.
Donkey Kong. But I was also surprised that Battlefield 6
Mhm.
didn't make it, just because I know when it came out, it might have been just because everyone was praising it because of comparison to Call of Duty,
Mhm.
and not just because it's Battlefield 6. Like it doesn't. Maybe it wasn't getting its praise for being itself, but rather just then being better than the specific competition. But I was surprised that Battlefield 6 didn't get nominated.
I'm gonna tell you why Battlefield 6 didn't get nominated for kind of the same reasons you'll never see a nomination for a horror movie in the Oscars. It's like it's one of those things that everybody likes, but for some reason, like they don't take horror serious over there. Where
Okay.
over here, that horror is related to the multiplayer aspect. Because the multiplayer aspect, they put in them other categories, best ongoing game. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things.
Okay.
They don't want to put it like they want that particular spot to go to these single player, bigger adventure with a star player in it type game. They don't want that to go to the multiplayer games. Because if
Okay.
that's the
That makes
case, because I would feel like every other year one of the Call of Duties would be in there. Every other year, like Battlefield would have been in there. Maybe, um, any of those shooters. We'll never see a shooter up here in this particular spot. You never see that unless it's a third person and it's centered around story based.
story.
So
Okay.
that's
That's
my
fair.
thought process. But interesting enough, funny how they do this. The next thing I have on my list is best game direction. It's almost the exact same list, but they put like another game in there and they took the Donkey Kong out. So best game direction: Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote makes an appearance, Hades 2, and then Split Fiction. So we just took out Hollow Knight, we just took out Donkey Kong, right? And Kingdom Kong Deliverance. And there's actually only 5 games in this particular category. They didn't put a 6th game here. But one thing I've noticed in these awards is they try to give a title to like almost everybody, even though most of the games here are, or most of the categories have Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The logic is one of these other games is going to win the best in this category, and then somehow, some way, Claire will probably win the game of the year. When that doesn't really make sense.
I don't necessarily think it's somehow, some way. Like, what I try to think of it as is, if you only consider this category, this game is the best. If you only consider this game is the best, but if you put everything together, Clair Obscur is the best. I think the year that it threw it off was the whole, what was it? It was like, I think, wasn't it like Elden Ring won every mini category and then God of War won or something like that?
It was the opposite. It was the opposite. God of War won all the middle ones, and then Elden Ring won the big one, and that didn't make no sense.
If it was like God of War won 2 of them and then other games won the other ones, then I get you're trying to say the sum of the parts goes to Elden Ring, right? And I'm hoping that's kind of what happens here. But it wouldn't, to me, make sense if it was like Split Fiction wins every single minute category, but then Clair Obscur wins the best. Then, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
But there's one that we're going to get to later. But, well, I'll wait till we get to it. But, like, I just feel like any category that Claire is in, I feel like it should win. That's just me. That's just me. That's how I am. But yeah, well, right here, best game direction. I didn't play the other ones, honestly. I'm gonna be honest.
I go Split Fiction though, personally.
You say,
but again, I haven't played Clair Obscur. But I think I don't know. Like I feel like when it comes down to trying to make a solid, story-driven, fun co-op game, they got it down pat. Like they know exactly what they're doing.
While it's on my mind, let me skip down a couple categories because I got this in my face. Here's where it's gonna get weird. So, best debut indie game. Blueprints, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Dispatch, Megabonk, and then Despilote. I don't know if I said that right.
Oh.
But
here's some issues that I have with this, and I know you're probably going to bring it up. Well, one, if I guess technically Clair Obscur is an indie game, but isn't Hollow Knight also technically an indie game or not?
Right. Yeah, it is. It's still there.
So I feel if you're going to put Clair Obscur here, then you should also put Hollow Knight here. I think this should go to Dispatch, but I'm also currently playing Dispatch and love it. But
I just feel like if you're gonna put, because Clair Obscur is an indie game that just debuted, right? But the way they usually do these shows is they would want to give this to one of the other ones so Claire can get the big one. But the logic would not make sense if they do it. Yeah. But I'm not gonna harp on that too much because I'm really watching that show to see the, you know, all the other trailers, everything we're gonna wish list and that type of stuff. And then some of these awards is kind of, you know, important. The key thing at the end of the day for the people out there, for the games, especially the ones that you see coming up more and more often, make sure you own those games and buy them and play them and enjoy them, because you know, that's the whole point. I have not gotten into Death Stranding at all, but I do have the first game, the director's cut version of it as well. And I plan to play it, and if I'm really, you know, into it, I'll play the second one. Ghosts of Tsushima, I have that one. I don't have Yote yet, but the same thing. I have Hades 1, I don't have Hades 2. So it's kind of the same thing. I played I played the other games that the developers of Split Fiction came out with, but I haven't played Split Fiction. So like some of these other titles, you know, just play them when you get to them. Now This is gonna be funny because I'm gonna mention something I don't know if you're aware of, but the category innovation in accessibility. The games here is Assassin's Creed Shadows, Autumnfall, Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm going to pick that for me. EA Sports FC 26, and then South of Midnight. I remember the different things you can do in Doom: The Dark Ages to like really customize it. I did keep it relatively the same for the way it was, default supposed to be, but you could have increased or lowered the parry window. You could have made your character either stronger or weaker, faster or slower, those type of things, all the way down to the T.
Okay.
South of Midnight, from what I remembered, you had the ability to literally skip boss fights if you wanted to. I was like, why would I do that? I don't know why. But those are the only two I can actually speak on. But I do want to mention, because South of Midnight is here. I don't know if you're aware of it. There is there is a group of people that you would normally find in these dames for black people accessibility and all of those award shows that we be watching. A bunch of them feel like South of Midnight was snubbed from the Game of the Year category simply because it's a black character and it's a black theme and it's a black game and blah 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 blah. I don't know.
Bro,
Have you heard of that?
I haven't heard about this game outside of you talking about it. Like, and not even though it's like good or bad. I haven't heard anything. Like, nobody's even been like, here's this thing that happens in this game. Like, I haven't heard anything. So, like, of course it's not gonna get nominated. Like, y'all wasn't even championing it.
So that whole crowd is like, they're a really small pocket that you probably not gonna hear too much from because they're not that big, but they're mad. They feel like that game should be in the big category, and they put a lot of the real world things, oppression into it, and they came up with a whole thing. I was like, okay. But
okay,
yes.
you know what? Let's do this. Even talking about some of the other stuff in there. You just say you can skip boss fights.
Yeah.
Why should Game of the Year be a game that says you can skip the game?
Yeah.
Like, this is why should Game of the Year be a game that says you can skip the game?
It was an interesting, fun little title. But no, not Game of the Year. No. This is coming from a person who played it. I will still have more footage for the channel. No, it's not a Game of the Year. But it's a fun title. It is something you can play day one in Game Pass. It does, I believe, have the Xbox Play Anywhere title to it. When I first bought my headset, the MetaQuest headset, the game was loaded into the headset where I could have picked up where I left off, and I actually did briefly just for a couple of minutes just to see it. But the quality was a little bit lower than, obviously my big PC, but it was there. And if you're into that type of experience with Xbox, you can definitely take advantage of that, and it's a good game to do it with. Just for the experience of that hardware, the platform, the abilities to jump in between. But as far as just a single game of the year, no. I would put Doom: The Dark Ages on this list ahead of it. I would.
Okay.
Doom: The Dark Ages was fantastic. But I also don't think that was better than Clair Obscur for me, and I played them both. I play all three on Game Pass. Funny enough, there's another independent game category here. Best independent game. And then the categories here, three of the main ones is in here. Clair Obscured Expedition 33, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong. And then they also have Blueprints, which was a game that I had put on the Rogue Ally but didn't actually get to. But I hear it has a lot of praise. It was another one that was on Game Pass. I just never had got to it. And then Ball Pit or Ball X Pit, and then Absolem. Did I say that right? Absolem.
Yep. Yeah, Absolem. Yeah.
I don't know anything about Absolem. I'm sorry for the people or Ball
It's
Pit,
actually,
but
I'm surprised. Feel like if I remember the footage correctly, Absolem looks like a game you would like.
okay. I don't
If
know
I
if I
remember.
may have I
Yeah.
may have wrote it down, but you know how when we write down from these shows, it's just so many.
Yeah.
But the other four, the first four that I mentioned, I'm familiar with. Obviously, three of the four are in the game of the year category. But this is another situation where it's like if you say best indie game, and this is the one that logically you will probably want to give to Hollow Knight, would the logic make sense if you give that one to Hollow Knight because you're giving Claire the other one, but the other one would be game of the year and best indie game technically? I don't know. That's just me. That's how I think about it. Um, what do you think would win in this category? How do you feel about it?
For best independent.
Yeah.
I already forgot the nominations.
All right. Well, we can move forward. Best performance. I don't really know these people too well, but three people are in here for Clara Obscura Expedition 33. So one of them is Ben Starr, and then Charlie Cox, uh,
Oh yeah.
Jennifer English, and then for Ghosts of Yote, Erica. Is it Ishi? Ishi? Ishai? I don't know. I'm sorry, butchering names. Silent Hill F, Kono Konoshu Kato. I
Yep.
don't know if I said that right. And then obviously, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Troy, I know him very well. I think a lot of you know him very well. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was very, very well acted, though. I will admit that. I think everybody in that game did a phenomenal job with the voice acting. It really felt movie like. For a game that's based on a movie franchise, they really made sure you got that movie experience while playing the game. That I played also on Game Pass. I could speak on him. Now the other three, I would have to like Google who played who. But Claire Obscure, I don't know. Somebody from Claire Obscure can win or whoever.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Charlie Cox.
It might be,
It's gonna be
for
Charlie Cox.
popularity purposes. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, by the way, for side note, for the independent games that you mentioned, yeah, Hollow Knight. I think that's what's gonna win there.
I feel like it is too. I just feel like it's just not going to
But
make logical sense.
I think in terms of like, because they let fans vote. For
Yeah.
some reason, I feel like there's gonna be people, and I know it's wrong, but there's gonna be people who are just gonna look at that and go, "Claire Obscure is not an indie game," and pick something else. Like I feel
Hmm.
like that's gonna be part of the reason they don't look at its scale and graphics and the fact that like the voice, like it's not just random voice actors that there's like trying for the first time. Like they're getting
Hmm.
professional actors in this. They're like, that's not indie. Like that's not how they're gonna feel. Where side scrolling, fan base, dedication, long time waiting for the game, with constant positive updates, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's an indie.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see, right? Um, the next thing I have here, which is a very interesting category in itself, best action game. A lot of my favorites are in here. So Battlefield 6 is at the top of this list. Doom the Dark Ages is number 2. Hades 2 is number 3. Ninja Gaiden 4 is the fourth one. And then the fifth game on this list is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Right off the back, I gotta say everything on this list, make sure you guys go and get it. I think the only things I don't have on here, Ninja Gaiden 4 and Hades 2, when technically Battlefield 6, but these are the games of the streets right now, basically. This could go anywhere. Any one of it sounds like a win to me. Um, I'm fresh off of Doom the Dark Ages, so I'm a little bit more biased there. Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Some
I
of my
love that game.
coworkers bought that from me. Shout out to them.
I love that game.
Battlefield 6, like we mentioned, is hot in the streets. This really could go anywhere. It can go anywhere.
If I had to pick,
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this could go anywhere. All of these are great. I feel like it might go Ninja Gaiden 4
That's interesting.
or Battlefield 6. One of those two.
Yeah.
But if they were like Doom, the Dark Ages, it'd be like, that's
hmm
fair. Like, I don't feel like there's a bad option here. I think you're right. This could go anyway.
I'm biased towards Doom the Dark Ages. I had a lot of fantastic fun with it.
I'm a little
Um,
biased towards Shinobi. And I'm
yeah.
currently playing Hades 1 as well.
Okay.
So I imagine if Hades 2 is this with more story, I'm here for it.
Yeah, and then following this is best action slash or action adventure game. Best action slash adventure game. Where they switch it up a little bit because we got Death Stranding 2 on the beach, Ghost of Yote, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle should not be here. Hollow Knight, Silk Song, and then Split Fiction. Hollow Knight should win this one. I think if you go put him in the highest category, he don't win that one because they didn't put Claire here. I wouldn't have put Claire here, but this should not go to Indiana Jones. I'm gonna be honest. That should. It's a great with the story, but the action part, no. No, I don't know why that is here. But Hollow
So
Knight for me, yeah.
I feel like if you really look at the action, it goes Hollow Knight. Even though again I've only really kind of watched gameplay for it, but and I might be just partial because I like the game. I think Split Fiction is also a great action adventure game because
hmm
some of the boss fights very actiony, and then the rest of it is just puzzle platforming with just like fun, predictable and like your very typical story. Like it's not like they're trying to be all creative with that. It is by the numbers, like you know what's gonna happen, but you still enjoy watching it happen. So I would go Split Fiction. He has to win one thing. If he doesn't
hmm
have a game to announce, he got to win something because he has to give a speech.
yeah. So let's see. Best role playing game. So this is funny because this has Claire Obscure in it. It's like if you give it to anything else, nothing else here actually looks like it should win though. Best role playing game: Avowed, Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Outer Worlds 2, and then Monster Hunter Wilds. Excuse me. Um, Claire Obscure all day. I mean,
I'd say not
logically,
Monster Hunter Wild.
logically, it should be between Claire and Kingdom Come, but I would just go
I
Claire all day.
So one of the games that I got, which
hmm
I think this is a great option, um, I'd go Outer Worlds 2. I've been hearing a lot of praise for that in terms of like role playing and everything and the story being great, but I feel it should go to Claire. If I had my personal pick, my bias pick, it's Outer Worlds 2.
Okay. Um, Claire, the role play for Claire, I don't even want to spoil it, but I mean, like, it was so intricate. But
That's
I'll,
my Christmas
I'll,
gift.
I'll move forward. Best sim slash strategy game. So we have The Altars, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evilise Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, and then Two Point Museum. Um, I do plan to get the Final Fantasy Tactics game. I thought the Evil East Chronicles version was very well done because they added voice acting. They cleaned up the pixels a little bit. There's a weird fan base here for the Jurassic World Evolution game. It's like for me, it's like I want an actual action based Jurassic game. You would think that's the route that they would have gone with, but they did the whole, you know, like Jurassic Park as like a animal park kind of thing. Like if you was to go see the animals, you got them all in cages and stuff. But people love this game. And they keep remaking them or making another one. But um, Final Fantasy Tactics is the next game that I'm gonna buy, or at least one of the games I'm gonna buy is on my list. So that's the one I would
Mm.
probably go with. Um, but yeah, anything for you here?
Uh, I want to try out one of the Civ games that was like I already have. I think one was
Mm-hmm.
given away for free. Um, that's the main one that I've heard like most stuff out of, and I do eventually plan on playing Final Fantasy Tactics. I just don't know when.
All right, best fighting game: 2XKO, Capcom Fighting Collection 2. I feel like that's a weird one. But yeah, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection with a K, Virtual Fighter 5 REVO World Stage. I just want to say, I don't. Are the collections? Are we opening up a can of worms here with the collections?
Yeah, absolutely. To me, it's the same issue of putting a
Elden Ring
re-release.
DLC.
No, not DLC, and putting the like Resident Evil 4 remake. Like, if the remake is way still too similar to the beginning, just updated graphics.
Yeah.
If it's not like a complete different where it feels like a different experience. If it is updated graphics, DLC, or collections, I don't
Hmm.
think they should be in the category. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of these, no offense to their fans, I don't think there's any like clear winner, but not in terms of all good. I think these are all mid.
They're all
I don't think
over the
we had really
place.
good fighting games this year.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, maybe Virtua Fighter 5 or yeah, because people are going crazy for it. But I also don't know what 2XKO is, so maybe that has a big fan. I just don't
Yeah.
think we had fighting games this year.
Yeah. Especially if you throw in collections in there. I feel like that's not fair. It's like collections. First of all, it already has a certain amount of nostalgia, and then it's a whole bunch of games. So it's like ganging up on the other games. So it's like I don't know, but I would probably go with the Virtual Fighter 5 as well. Interesting category here. Best family game. They actually got full six choices. So we got Donkey Kong Bonanza, obviously. Then we got Lego Party, and then Lego Voyeurs. On here, two
Well, yeah,
Legos, two
yeah.
Legos.
But different
Um,
studios.
different studios. Mario Kart World, and then Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. This is gonna be they gonna go head to head here, and then
Great.
Split Fiction again. So maybe it could go to Split Fiction. I think the Mario Kart or the Sonic Racing might win because it's a bigger, there's more people who can play at the same time. Donkey Kong, I don't think should win here at all. As a single player game, I feel like if you're talking family, how do you play a single player
I feel
game?
like family means kid as well. That's why.
Yeah,
But I agree with you. I think I'm partial to Split Fiction.
yeah,
I think Sonic Racing should probably win. That honestly does look like probably the most popular and tied for best game on this list. I still want to play Lego Voyagers.
yeah. I want Sonic. I want the Sonic Racing to win because not only will it slap Nintendo in the face for Mario Kart, it's also gonna take some side hits to the Donkey Kong as well, just
Yeah.
because. But here's the category where both of them are in here again. Best sports slash racing game. So Sonic Racing Cross Worlds and also Mario Kart World is here. But then we also have Rematch, F125, and then EA Sports FC26. It's
Sonic
funny
Racing. And
you got 1 year here and another year here. So I feel like the 25 probably should. I don't know. Not gonna think
well,
too far into it.
good. I think F1 releases their titles of the year of
Hmm.
where EA always says it's the game that's gonna carry you through the next year. That's
Yeah.
the issue.
But Cross Worlds for me. If we're, I also find it to be weird because if we're saying best sports, like as if we're gonna make two categories for the indie games, we should split the sports into racing. Cause it's like right now we got football going up against Mario Kart. That just don't make sense to me. Like I feel like even if it's like NBA 2K and then soccer, football, whatever, baseball, they should all just be in
Wrestling.
a sports. Yeah, and then you can put wrestling in there. They should be in a sports category, and then a racing game should be in another category. That's just how I look at it. Cause it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we gonna have NBA going against like Mario Kart. No, that don't even make sense. But whatever. This is what they got this year. Maybe they'll fix it next year. Best multiplayer: Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and then Split Fiction.
I think
Um,
in terms of being a multiplayer game, Split
yeah.
Fiction is the best, hands down. I think for what people are going to treat this as, it should probably go to Battlefield 6. I don't, and people can hate me for this. I don't think Arc Raiders should win,
Oh, yeah,
and it
Arc.
has to do with my other topic.
Okay, well, Arc Raiders is probably between Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders just based on the streets.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But why do you
But
say
I
Arc
can
Raiders shouldn't win?
slightly bring up my other topic as well.
Okay.
So, Arc Raiders got known for using AI voice in the game,
AI.
and
Hmm.
and there's a congressman, Representative Ro Khanna, who is 100%. He's calling for AI regulation, and he said he doesn't like, and he was mainly calling out Black Ops 7 for
Hmm.
using AI. So I think this was more targeted towards big companies doing this than Arc Raiders doing this. But his issue was that there needs to be regulations to prevent companies from using AI to eliminate jobs just so they can get more money if they're not using more money to pay the people working on it. So his issue was like they're using AI to not pay voice actors for Black Ops, and then
Hmm.
that increases the amount of money they get to keep. But the developers of the game, of course, are not the ones getting that extra money. It's going to the executives. And he's like, no, there needs to be regulation. He wants there to be pretty much, if you're going to use AI, here's this heavy tax. So to try and get you to not use AI, so you pay the people to do stuff like you're supposed to be doing. And I 100% agree with this. I hate that we're like everybody keeps saying, don't worry, AI is not going to replace people. Yet
Hmm.
here's now a few people that couldn't get a job recording a few lines for your game because you decided to use AI, and you could have easily gone the route of, yo, we're about to give these YouTubers some clout, read these lines for us, and you get a free copy of the game, right? Like you could have done that, hire like 7 YouTubers, they do the lines in your game, and even then everybody's gonna be like, yo, that's what's up. You giving like YouTubers some clout, our favorites and things like that, or some unknowns that are like really building it up. Let's go. Instead, you use AI. That sucks. I don't think you should get nominated for anything. I'm happy people are
Hmm.
playing your game. You put in the effort. Go developers. I want you to make another game, whatever. People are enjoying it, cool. But I don't feel like it should get excess recognition if you're going to start taking cheap ways out. And that's my stance on it.
Okay. I do want to mention I think Elden Ring Night Rain is here based off the strength of Elden Ring, but I don't think that many people are playing Elden Ring Night Rain as much. I think they're still playing the regular Elden Ring, based
Uh,
on what I've been seeing. I think it's here for popularity's sake, just to give Elden Ring a spot, but I don't think it's gonna win. This should go to Battlefield 6 in my opinion.
I agree.
Um, but yeah, best.
It'll probably be Arc Raiders, and like I strongly agree with this, like my argument, and I'll forgive or fight my argument, but
Hmm.
it's not enough for me to like start protesting or something like that. Like I'm not like I ain't the one losing my job. I just feel bad for voice
Hmm.
actors who aren't getting opportunities for this, so I'm just not liking that. But if it wins, it wins.
As we go through this, I'm noticing there's a lot of repeats. So these are a lot of games that people you should definitely have on your wish list, especially for a Black Friday list, maybe next year, the year after. Because if they keep coming up, they got to be good for something, right? So best narrative, I have Expedition 33 again, Death Stranding again, Ghost of Yotei, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and then Silent Hill F. What I find interesting about this is that some of these categories will have 5 games, and then some of them will have 6. But with some of these categories that have 5 games in it, You would think that they would put a sixth slot and it would be one of the game of the year category games, but they don't. You know, this is one of them. So it's 5 games here. Obviously, I'm gonna go with Expedition 33 for the narrative. But it could be something else here. Who knows? What do you think? Yes, no, maybe.
My bad, I was muted.
Okay.
But for you were talking about the narrative one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it should go to Clay Obscure.
This is definitely Clear Obscure all day. Best audio design. That's either Battlefield 6, Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, or Silent Hill F. I'm super biased in this category for them. That
Mm-hmm.
soundtrack is amazing. It's a reason why like you keep seeing that particular game come up in a couple of the categories too. It's just when you put it all together, that music is so important. It is
Mm.
it's really really good music. But yeah, best audio design. Um, your thoughts?
Uh, I didn't hear a lot about this game, but I feel like a horror game has to have great audio, otherwise it ain't gonna be
Mm-hmm.
scary. So I'm thinking about like with Silent Hill F, it's like I didn't hear bad stuff about it,
Mm-hmm.
which makes me go, well then clearly the audio had to be good because in a horror game
Mm-hmm.
it cannot be bad.
Yeah, and
So
Silent Hill has come up a few times now, and really, that's probably 50 to 70% of the game is the audio design when you're talking horror. That goes for both horror games and movies, really.
yeah,
Um, but sometimes it's like the lack of audio, right? It's like when it's just quiet in certain areas and stuff, and it's just like
you're
eerie
right.
quiet. I don't know, but
However, from your
mhm.
argument again, I haven't played the game yet. It'll be my Christmas game. Having a great soundtrack, I mean, I know people like a guy who does not play video games. He is one of those dudes that, like your stereotype sports, outdoor woodsman, all that stuff, doesn't play video games. He listens to the Persona 5 soundtrack on repeat because he just
uh,
likes the music. Right?
yeah,
Like so music can like really make a vibe where you're just sitting there just listening. So if you're making it sound
absolutely,
like if Player Obscure got that, like, no, I deserves it.
absolutely. And then here's best score and music. Hollow Knight, Silk Song, Hades 2, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Ghost of Yote, and Death Stranding 2 on the Beach.
I
Um,
feel like if Claire
it's,
gets this one, and then something
yeah,
else can get the other audio design, because I guess audio goes more than just the music,
yeah,
but rather knowing when to do no sounds at all, or the screeching, or the little tapping, and all of that scary stuff. So
yeah. I
I
can
feel like
see
it
that one.
feels good that a horror game gets audio design, and then music can go Claire.
Yeah, because when I was mentioning it, it sounded like I was talking about this category more than the other one. So I can
Yeah.
see the music category being here for Claire, and then Silent Hill probably getting audio design. I can see that. Now this one is interesting because this is almost everything that's in the game of the year. Best art direction: Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and then Hollow Knight Silksong. Um,
Bias here.
mhm.
I think Hades. You could argue Hollow Knight, but like again, I know Hades 2 looks very similar to Hades 1, and to me that's just a beautiful art. Like I could stare at images of like different parts of the game and cutscenes and things like that, and not necessarily just the top-down view. I know that's what some people are going to think about, but
Mhm.
like during cutscenes, just the freeze frames, the way characters are designed, and things like that. But I'm a big Greek mythology fan, so my bias is showing. But I would have to go Hades.
Obviously, I'm gonna say Expedition 33. The art direction here, I mean, just to see, not to really spoil it, but just Titan-sized objects in the distance, and then when you get close to it and you see it, and there's certain things you have to fight, and the way that the people were dressed, their they had like a certain level of class to them. Like it wasn't like in Western media and Western gaming and stuff. There's this whole argument is, is this person, you know, they make the girls too ugly or they make them too raunchy or something like that. It's like under Claire, it was like everybody was just class. It was just there was no too far one way, too far to the other way. It's like these were classy individuals, and I know this is more of a French game. Maybe that might have something to do with it. But that was art in itself to me. The enemies was art in itself to me. So yeah, I'm biased there when it comes to the art direction for Claire.
Okay.
Best adaptation. So I didn't really watch any of this stuff, but um, a Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry. I didn't even know they did one for Devil May Cry.
Yeah, they did.
The Last of Us season 2, Splinter Cell, Death Watch, and then Until Dawn. Funny enough, I thought everybody said they hated
All right.
Until Dawn.
I strongly hate that game or that movie. The game is great. I do not like this movie. Again, I feel like if it was its own thing, and then there was clear Easter eggs about the
hmm
game Until Dawn, even if they were like, we really like the name, but they didn't try and say like this is based on the game. It was its own thing with a little bit of Easter eggs. It would have been a decent, fine horror movie. It's the fact that this is supposed to be an adaptation of the game that
hmm
just ruins it. For me, it's probably going to be a Minecraft movie because people went crazy over that, and it's like
hmm
I think the second highest grossing video game movie, maybe third. It's one of the top three for sure. Next to Mario and Sonic, one of the Sonics.
Yeah.
I think it's number two. I think it's Mario and then Minecraft, and then Sonic. But it shouldn't be the. I don't think it should be the Last of Us Part Two.
I'm gonna make a note for myself
And
to go check out the Devil May Cry thing
yes,
later.
Devil May Cry and Splinter Cell. I want to see. I have them
That's a little
saved up,
bit
ready
more
to
of
go.
my
But
yeah. That's more of my alley. But yeah, that's the best adaptations. Um, Best mobile game. This was Destiny Rising, Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble. Um, I don't know if you're watching this. You're gonna have to help me
I
with this.
got you.
What?
Uma Umamusume, Pretty Derby.
Pretty
I got you.
Derby. And then is it Wuthering Waves?
Wuthering,
Wuthering
Wuthering.
Waves.
All right. Now, my bias is always going to go towards Persona. But with that said, based off of the ads I constantly get from Epic, I think Wuthering Waves should win. Like I heard that was really
Yeah.
good without it being too predatory on like microtransactions. That it just
hmm
felt like a solid game with some things you can buy versus a game designed to be gotcha.
Yeah, I know there's some name value here for a few different titles, but I don't really know too much about the games themselves. So it could go to anybody really. I don't know, but there's a couple of big names here, I guess, but I don't really know the game itself though. Um, Now the one of the last categories I think we're gonna get into best ongoing game. Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky.
Let's be
Honestly,
real. Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think it should go to Marvel Rivals because a lot of these
Mhm.
other games have been mentioned before, but I don't know if their fan bases is really that high except for Fortnite.
So
Honestly.
Fortnite is obviously doing his thing and going. I just don't think they've done really anything this year to justify, being better than everybody else. Even though it's great that it's still being supported and ongoing, it gotta be Marvel
hmm
Rivals though. Like that thing came out hot and stay hot. Like it gotta be Marvel Rivals. Marvel
Yeah.
Rivals just took out Overwatch. Like
hmm
Overwatch ain't even mentioned anymore because of Marvel Rivals. Like it just took it over. It's got to be that.
Yeah. I want to jump down real quick to most anticipated game. It's funny because this might sound controversial, but well, first it's 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4. Um, the reason why I say it might sound controversy, I think Grand Theft Auto 6 is still the most anticipated, but they won most anticipated last year. So I don't feel like it should win it this year because this should have been the year it came out. I actually
Yep.
want to give it to one of the other games. Now, um, every other game on the here that I do want to play everything here, but I'm more biased to saying Resident Evil Requiem is my most anticipated, even over the 007 because I don't think 007 First Light looked like 007 to me. It looked like Hitman disguised as 007.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it's Marvel Wolverine. You know what? I might actually say Wolverine over Resident Evil because Resident Evil is kind of like, we're playing another Resident Evil. It's not that often you get a Wolverine, right? Resident Evil, we're gonna get it every other year. So yeah, I would say Marvel Wolverine for me actually.
I agree.
Um, you agree with that?
I
Everything
do.
on that list I do want to play. But I would probably go with that. And then honestly, I don't care about none of these esports and stuff, but I do want to go back to content creator of the year just for a split second because I do want to mention the other community. I don't know if you heard of this, but so content creator of the year, I don't know everybody here, but uh the main
I know two of
person,
them.
yeah, I know two of them, but one of them in particular, his name is Kai Sinnott.
I
Um,
said, "Ah,
Kai
Sinat."
Sinnott, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, a lot of people feel similar to South of Midnight. If he don't win, it's because of all these oppression issues, real life issues, blah 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 blah. Have you seen any of that?
So no, and I think that's crazy. Here's what I think. I mean, he is one of the top streamers and everything. I just
Yeah,
feel like he is now above it. And I don't
yeah.
mean that in a rude way, but I feel like he's not, to me, considered a content creator. He
Mm-hmm.
is just at this point now an entertainer. Like, I feel like if he never
Probably,
did
yeah.
any sort of Twitch streaming anymore and was just doing mainstreamy stuff, some people would be disappointed, but no one would feel like he's out of place anymore. Because I feel like he's
Yeah.
moved above that type of stuff. I don't know. It's to me it's almost like still referring to you remember King Bot from like YouTube doing all the vines and YouTube stuff?
I don't.
It's the one black dude. If I showed you some of his comedy stuff, you'll know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Um However, to me, it feels like calling him a YouTube creator still. Right? Or
Mm-hmm.
labeling Drewski solely as a YouTube creator. Where it's like they're not really that anymore. Like they've kind of moved up the ranks a bit.
Yeah.
So I could see it fairly giving it to somebody else because of that. Like again, it's almost to me it's like giving an award for like best actor in an indie film and if like Chris Hemsworth happened to act in an indie film and he wins where it's like come on now. Like that doesn't feel fair to the others. Um I would personally probably say Moist Critical, especially because he also got to lend his voice to like Dispatch and everything, and being in there. I don't know, I just feel like he was doing a lot more content stuff, but if it should probably be Kai Cenat.
I think it should be Kai based on some of those. I think he was calling it Mafia Cons and his streamer university, which was such a big
Oh, you know
thing to
what?
those people.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
content creator and doing other creator stuff for, or like creating things for other content creator. You're right. You're right.
the
Yeah, it should be him.
university thing, like I caught some of it. Honestly, I felt like the streaming quality was not that good because everybody was doing IRL stuff and they just didn't have the tech, for them. Maybe if they, have a bigger, like I guess he was allowing everybody to just show up to this one place and just film each other, right? They did a bunch of content and stuff. A lot of that's not really for me. I'm not in that age range anymore, really. But I thought it was still a big thing overall that wasn't really done. And people was trying to buy rights to it, and he didn't allow anybody to buy rights to it. So he solely owns that and can continue to do that. And I think he, like, if somebody else tries to do it, like he might can go Nintendo on them basically. So yeah, but that's the Game Awards. Honestly, I really am curious as to what is going to be reveals. One of the rumors I've heard is they're going to show a teaser or something for the God of War in the Egypt area. I remember hearing some rumors on that. I don't really care what it's going to be. I just want to see what it is. I do kind of have a bias. It reminds me of the Blade game. I don't really want to see nothing that's like 7-8 years away or whatever. I would like to see something that's at least coming out, the middle of next year, late next year, at most 2 years out. I know I'm asking much, but I know they're going to just be like, here's a bunch of debuts of stuff that's 7-8 years from now. It's like, I don't know. It's you could be, you could be excited for it, but then it's like, if you don't hear about it for a few years, it's like, eh. But yeah.
Case in point, do
Yeah.
you remember the game Blight Survivor Evolved or something like that? It was a game that they showed off. I don't even know if you remember, but it was like almost like you were a knight in medieval times fighting zombies, and it looked like this crazy detailed
I think I
action
remember it.
game
Yeah.
advertised like maybe 3 years ago. Ain't heard nothing since. I haven't even heard the developer say we're still working on it. Like, I haven't heard anything since. Like, don't
I
do
just
that.
know, yeah, like with like Marvel Wolverine, they had that one teaser trailer where they really just mimicked like Wolverine in the bar, which we've seen plenty of times in some of the movies. And then that thing just went dark for so long until a whole bunch of stuff just leaked on the internet. And it was like, well, you didn't even see an official thing yet. And then they kind of just threw it out there, but it fell flat a little bit to me because of so many of the leaks. Because even when I wasn't trying to look at it, it just would appear every now and then because algorithms would just send you stuff. But I kind of feel like Blade is going to be in the same situation. It's like, we had the little teaser, and then I think it's like 2 years later, right? Where it's just there's nothing. So, I would just like to see more games, where we see not only, footage of gameplay, but some release dates, please. Release dates that's like, it could still be summer and fall 2026, but I want to see release dates of stuff that's current, that's like right around the corner. That's where I'm at with it. But anyways, we can move forward. Let's take a brief little spot to talk about our unofficial sponsor, which is Epic Games. We usually mention Epic Games somewhere towards the middle. We're a little bit past the middle, but that's okay. Just because there's so much Game Awards stuff. I can imagine the Game Awards itself is going to be just as long. But I do want to mention Epic Games for coming out with, or at least allowing us to have a free game every week, sometimes twice a week. And I'm excited because we're now in the part of the year where they give out a game every day, right? So starting next week, which I think is at the start of the Game Awards, they will give out a game every day as a mystery game. They do this usually around Christmas time, and it's usually 16 or 17 days of this. And it goes all the way to, I think, New Year's or just before New Year's. But just before that, we do have, I believe, a couple games that they have. So one of them is called The Dark Side Detective. I really do like the pixel art for this. I don't know too much about it, but it's available right now until December 11th. And then they have the Jackbox Party Pack 4. Not too familiar with that, but it's free. Can't really argue with free, right? So both of those are available from now to December 11th. And then December 11th, around the time of the Game Awards, you're going to see a mystery game be unlocked. We don't know what that is, but I imagine that's going to be a game every day. I just realized Guacamelee is on the screen. If I'm not mistaken, that means that's our overtime spot. We got way too much left over. So I think the Kirby Air Riders is gonna have to play again, man, and some other stuff. I was not prepared. That's
Oh
okay.
shoot.
That's okay. We're gonna duplicate some of this because I think this is gonna go for a little bit longer. But um, inside of this, I do want to. Well, first, let me ask you: was there any sales or anything that you wanted to mention based off of Amazon Prime?
Not yet. I'll have those because I didn't look them up, or they didn't display them yet. They display them like the end of this week, so I'll let you know next week.
Okay.
Uh,
I do also. I want to mention. It's kind of irrelevant now, unfortunately, but there was a bunch of Black Friday sales specifically under Epic that I hope people had took advantage of because almost everything that I had wrote down was like definitive edition stuff, and they were all under $15. Whether it was the Seafood Game, Scorn, Gotham Knights, Tiny Tina, RoboCop, Jedi Fallen Order, Doom Eternal, Dead Space, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Need for Speed, Unbound. These are all either ultimate versions or just full deluxe versions. I think Hogwarts Legacy was also in here. I had wrote down a whole bunch of stuff, but they were all under $15 during the Black Friday time, and I think the sales just ended like either December 2nd or something, somewhere around that time frame. Hopefully some of you guys looked at it and caught something there because it was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of cool stuff there. Um, yeah. Also, I think I could mention in here just to press for time. Analog 3D finally had released. That's the remake of the N64 by the company Analog. That finally released. It was out of stock a little bit, but I think you can get your hands on it. They made a white one and a black one. That's the system that is going for $249.99. So about $250. It plays original N64 games, the cartridges. But you need to beware if you have any of those hacked cartridges or anything that's like 1001 type cartridges, any of those ROM hack cartridges, it doesn't play any of those. It only plays authentic original N64 games. It doesn't play any of like the fan made stuff later on, I don't believe. And I believe any cartridge coming from EverDrive that's like 101, all of those, it doesn't play that. It does come with the 8-bit DOE 64 Bluetooth controller. But if you want that for your PC or something, that's sold separately for $39.99. If you're interested in that, that's a modern day take controller for the N64. I still think that's a really sleek, nice system. It looks really nice. Not something that I'm into or interested in. I do most of N64, pretty much everything N64 through some form of emulation. But for anybody who's into that, it's still an awesome looking system, honestly. Let me see real quick. I want to throw a few things in here and then we can move forward. Are you familiar or were you aware that the last Ronin live action movie was canceled? Did you hear that?
oh, TMNT. Yeah, I was about to say I didn't remember they were making a Last Ronin. Yes, it's just the TMNT Last Ronin. Yes, I did.
Yes.
And
So,
the game as well. They were gonna make a
hmm
game and the movie, and both got canceled because Disney decided they want to do family friendly Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, even though the last one didn't go so well because
hmm
everyone liked Sonic 3. That was the logic, I believe. It was they liked Sonic 3, Minecraft, and Mario, so they were like, "Oh, that's what they want. Let's just do that instead." I don't care what people were saying. They don't want Ronin. They want funny and family friendly.
Yeah,
So
they want the kitty looking ones for the newer crowd. They're not trying to give the people who are used to the '90s version the last part. They're trying
yeah,
to hang out with the doing it from the beginning again. So they can. I don't know why they can't just do both. You're talking a movie. Just do the movie and then do the other thing. But Yeah, people are afraid that this might mean that they might actually cancel the game along with it. We haven't heard anything about the game, but the actual movie itself has been officially canceled, unfortunately. Um, Another piece of news I do want to put in here real quick. There was a couple announcements about some upcoming games that's going to be in development. Stellar Blade 2. There will be a sequel to Stellar Blade. She's probably going to be just as naked as ever. And then Cyberpunk 2 is also going into development. I believe Cyberpunk 2 is expected to be released 2028 is what they're saying. Yeah. Uh Part of, I did have this later on, but you mentioned it already about the AI. Um Apparently it's kind of a rumor, but it's not. It's like almost expected to happen. Um Consoles and PC parts are expected to see another price increase. Um and it's because of the AI boom apparently. And there's going to be um barriers or just like roadblocks for a lot of people just trying to get RAM. Apparently RAM prices are spiking like 500% what they usually were, because of the AI boom. Everybody trying to buy it to have these things make a bunch of AI stuff. I've never seen nothing really good coming from it. I've only seen a bunch of weird memes. I follow a lot of shark video channels, and lately they just been making weird shark videos. It's not even real videos, and I'm like, there's no point to this anymore. But it's a lot of that. Like if you're following a bunch of different content creators, like little weird stuff, half of it is like all these little like clips of AI stuff that's not real. And that's what's been taking up all of the RAM. So it's a big possibility that the Xbox systems and the PlayStation systems are going to go up along with RAM and probably other PC parts. I haven't heard too much about the Switch, but everywhere else we're looking to see increases. You have any thoughts on that?
Oh, I say that one more time.
Any thoughts on price increases on the consoles and PC parts in the next
Yeah.
year?
At this point, we're kind of like, oh, broke your record on saying it sucks that it doesn't need to. Like, I don't see the need for it to go up, but it just seems like this is just what's gonna happen. It sucks that this hobby is just becoming more and more expensive.
That does bring me to the Steam machine. There's been a lot of people debating back and forth what that price is going to be, and they want to release it first quarter of 2026. But I believe people are saying the reason why they haven't released the price yet is because they are still trying to see what's going on with the RAM issue. But I honestly think they probably know. They just don't. They're not telling us yet because they have specific dates, for their launch or whatever. But everybody else is thinking it has something to do with the RAM and the AI pricing and everything. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. We could kind of move forward. I don't know if this needs to be its own segment, but I honestly felt like the reason why PlayStation Plus, the games that they've put out for December, the reason why it's 5 is because they didn't want to do the discount for everybody. That's what I'm thinking. That was been my thought process, but that's what I originally put down on my paper. Funny enough, and then I actually got the discount to keep my PS Plus going. But what I mean by that is like anybody who has their PS Plus that's set to change in the holiday time is usually because they're used to stacking a bunch of years in the past and stuff, and they just always tend to expire around that time. Mine was the same way. But I kind of felt like maybe they came out with 5 games this particular point around, just to entice people to come back in if they were
Yep.
expiring. But I don't know, because they still gave me the discount. The discount I got to buy another year for like $60 something dollars, 63. So maybe
Yeah,
I'm
but the thing
wrong.
is,
But
discount don't mean nothing if no one's deciding to do it. Like everybody was already saying like they're not giving us good stuff. It's not worth it. I'm not doing it. And you could be like discount, and they're like, I'm still not coming back. But now you're like
Hmm.
discount and 5 games, and you're like, and like, let's say some of these are relatively new. Like I know it didn't get the best reception, but Killing Floor 3, the fans of
Hmm.
Killing Floor like Killing Floor. So like it is kind of like it's enticing for me. I'm just enjoying it. I already still have PlayStation Plus, so why not?
Hmm.
But I do think it's a combination to try and pull people back in.
Lego Horizon was actually one of the titles that I bought just before Black Friday for $20, which I think might be the flagship game here. But yeah, everything else, I mean, it's just games that I'm just gonna have and I'll try. Funny enough, I have been trying to avoid that Outlast for the longest time. I
That's
don't like horror games where you can't like there's no combat. I was like, I don't like
what
to
I
run and
say.
hide. But yeah,
I mean, just because it came out to me, you gotta play it. You're saying it's like, dang, now it's forced on me.
nah, yeah, you're right, you're right. But I don't know if you remember this. When they gave away one of the Outlast games before on
Mm.
PS Plus, I was about to get it, but I didn't get it until the next month because of it. Quite
Uh,
literally, quite literally, quite literally. I waited a month. When they did, I don't know if it was Outlast 1 or 2. It was one of them, but I kind of just waited. I was
one, I
like,
think.
eh. But yeah, that was like 2019 maybe. I think it was it might have been Black Friday of 2019. I was like, let me wait till December, and that's why mine is over every at the beginning of every December. Um, that was the reason why. I also thought this was a good opportunity to make one of them a VR game. I was wondering why none of them was a VR game because
They don't
like
care about their own VR thing.
because I was
That's
like,
why.
if you gonna have that whole VR headset and then like 5 titles, how come at least one of them wasn't VR? That I just wrote that down, but that just seemed odd to me that they didn't have at least one. Just one. But I guess not. All right. We could probably move forward. We're gonna move forward to probably my favorite part of this. And I wish we had more footage. But we'll go through this quick. Oh actually real quick, I know I have put this in a segment. It don't gotta be a segment. Shout out to Metroid Prime 4. I think I said before I did get the game today, but I did not I didn't get the chance to play it. And I'm going to actually wait until I play a few other games in a chronological order. But for everybody else that's out there, this game did get some relatively positive reviews from what I'm hearing. Um, it seems like they've innovated a little bit where they put this girl on a motorcycle, which just it still seems so odd to me. But it's a game that people are praising on the Nintendo. It's something that you don't typically see too often. Metroid doesn't come up that much, but
Hmm.
it has been coming up in recent years, which before it was like you can go like generation plus without seeing Metroid, right? So I'm happy to see Metroid and Samus alive and well. Um, and this one is a cross generation game. You can get the Switch 1 or the Switch 2 version. The Switch 2 version does still have some of those weird controls where you can use the Joy Cons as a mouse keyboard ish kind of thing. Because I guess they call it mouse mode, whatever Nintendo is doing over there. So that's
Hmm.
unique. You can really try that out with this game. When I get my hands on it officially, I'm still gonna do the traditional Pro controller. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Um, Funny enough, I don't know if I did write it down. Okay. Uh Anbernic. I do want to mention this real quick too. Anbernic has been controversial lately. That's the company that's been making 1,000 devices. So people are still upset with them because of their DS device not really being able to handle 3DS like that. And people saying what's the point, it was supposed to be under $100, but you didn't tell us about that tariff shipping and handling that jumps at another $20 and blah blah blah. They can't even handle the other system, and it's only 480p and all that other stuff. Well, Anbernic just decided to announce a whole nother device, like how they do every month, where it's like it's another month is another device, and they just continuing to move forward like ain't nothing happened. And people are upset because they kind of just ignored like the complaints of the other devices and stuff. And this is kind of like what Anbernic does. They just come out with a whole nother device. And so they came out with another handheld that's a vertical handheld card, the Anbernic RG477V. And the key thing about this one is it has two Joy-Cons on it instead of one. And it's like a sleek, like black design or whatever. And people are just not having it. They're really upset that they just kind of just moved on to another device without like saying, hey, like, address the DS device not having 3DS.
It will be addressed in 3 months after they release 7 more devices.
I
Like they're
guess.
just focused on devices only. I don't even think they read in the comments, because then they would at least put the little "We hear your feedback, thank you" or something. They don't. They ain't even looking at the comments. They are purposely just making the next device. They don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing.
So the device to get, at least for me, is going to be the Thor device. Once I get my, library in order, I'll order it. I haven't ordered it. It was not on sale this Black Friday or anything. It was actually still regular price and everything, which I expected because it kind of just came out. But that's the device I'm gonna go with because I want to play DS and 3DS all in one. With the full libraries, I don't want to have one and not the other, and I'm still spending over $100, right? And then it's not even like HD. It's like, yeah, I want to upscale this thing and everything, but yeah. So that's what was going on with the Anbernic device. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to me because the fan base is a smaller fan base, but they've turned on them overnight just based on what I was seeing. Not everybody, but a big portion of them. They've all shifted to the Thor device, and it's funny because I'm pretty sure everybody who was into it, they all have a vertical handheld or a handheld that's like wide screen handheld or whatever already. So they're not trying to get another
Here's
one
the
that's
thing,
like that.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing, though. Anyone who's buying this device ain't got no brand loyalty. They're getting a device to steal games. Let's be real. Like,
Okay.
they're taking games. So it's like, if a different company has the much better product and it's also
Hmm.
much better, ain't nobody out here going like, "Well, I only do AmberNet." Like, clearly they're gonna go with the one that's better because they've already done their research on how to get the best like deal for them. So yeah, it's reasonable.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It is what it is. What? Yeah, because every device was gonna have a bunch of pirated stuff on there anyway, right? Let's be honest.
Hmm.
Um, I think people would have pirated the homebrew games too. I don't even think they were
Yep.
gonna pay the PC other people. So
Yep.
yeah, it is what it is. All right, we still got a bunch of other stuff. Well, not a bunch, but uh, Black Friday sales, Black Friday purchases, I should say. Um, so
Yeah, purchases is better because not
uh,
everything I bought was on sale.
yeah, I bought a bunch of other stuff that wasn't gaming related, and stuff that was gaming related. I had some fun this Black Friday, but please tell me, what is your Black Friday purchases, and then I'll tell you my crazy list of stuff.
Yeah, so my Black Friday purchases were strictly video game stuff. For PC, I bought Digimon Story Time Stranger, Dispatch, Is This Seat Taken, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. For PS5, I finally bought a physical copy of Sea of Stars because I love that game. Um, and then I also got the deluxe version with the steelbook and everything
Hmm.
for Claire Obscure Expedition 33, and I bought The Outer Worlds 2.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, these are things I planned on getting this year, I just thought, wait until Black Friday. So if it does go on sale, cool. But if it doesn't, I was planning to buy it anyways. So
Um, there were some select things that I was looking to get that I actually did not get for particular reasons. Before I was saying I wanted to get the quote unquote big three, which were the games that were Souls like games that was not from software. So that would have been the first Berserker Kazan, Stellar Blade, and then Lies of P. I actually did not purchase none of the three. The reason was because they were not actually on sale. They were still at the same sale prices they were at pretty much throughout the year. So I didn't feel the need to rush and get those. I was like, I'll just wait because I'm still kind of playing Bloodborne technically. Bloodborne is there. Hollow Knight, the first Hollow Knight is in there. So it's like I'll wait on those. Those
okay.
are big ones that I did not get. Other big things that was on my list that I did not get was the Batman game that was in VR. That didn't go on sale either. That was a full $50, and I thought it was 30. I don't know why in my head I thought all them VR games was $30, but it was 50, and that was a MetaQuest exclusive. It's still it's still $50 now. It did not go on sale, and I think it was a niche enough product that I don't think it was just going to go on sale during Black Friday. So I just didn't touch it either because I wasn't in a hurry to play it in VR because I kind of feel like I need to play Arkham Knight, Gotham Knight before it, maybe even the Suicide Squad before it, because I think that came out afterwards. But
You don't need Suicide
yeah,
Squad. Arkham. We can play through it because it was given away on Epic, but
yeah,
we can play through it. Arkham Knight and probably
yeah.
Arkham Knight, the one you need to play. Gotham Knights is unrelated to the Arkham universe.
So I didn't do that. Another big thing that I did not do was the actual cable cord to hook the headset to the PC. That was something else that was relatively not on sale. So I chose not to do that either. But almost everything else I did do. I just went down the list, but those are the things I didn't do that I was actually funny enough wanting to do the most. While everything else I just honestly did just because. Like when I tell you what this is and you say, why did you get that? I had no reason to get it. I just did it just because. I'm so
Okay.
serious. I'm so serious. Like I'm about to let me go back to the page. Cause some of it was so much stuff I didn't even write down no more. But okay. I do want to mention the MVP of Black Friday this year was Walmart. Walmart had the best deals, especially in gaming. A lot of places where you saw stuff on sale, Walmart had it cheaper by like $5 or more. So that should have been the place everybody was at. They still got certain things on sale now. So definitely go check out Walmart, their online store, and their in person. It'll say regular price, but if you go to that store and still go back online, you'll still see the deals. But some of the stuff that I'm gonna mention was really just stuff that was cheap on the eShops. There was a game called Jubilee. I didn't play it yet, but it was on my PlayStation eShop for like $2.11. I just bought it just because. Gal Guardians Demon Purge, another one that
Okay.
was on the PlayStation eShop, $8.74. I bought it just because. Gal Guardians Servant of the Dark, the physical version. I got that on PlayStation for $19.99. Tekken 8. I have here, it says PlayStation. I'm pretty sure I got the Xbox version. But Tekken 8 was $19.99. If you remember the game Visions of Mana, the physical version of that was also $19.99. I bought that. I was really just buying the stuff that was I stayed under 20 when it came to the games. Because I remember, I don't know if you remember me saying I wanted to stay under 20. Tekken 8, funny enough, did that game was well received, right? I was kind of shocked that it was cheaper. I bought that
Tekken 8.
on yeah, I bought that
It
on
was at first. There were some
okay.
complaints about it, but I still think it's a very well received game. Overall, there was just some issues. I don't remember what they were, but there was something.
The game was basically delivered to me by the time I figured it out, but I bought it for 20 on Amazon. That was offered on Walmart for 15. Tekken 8 was 15 under Walmart. The Persona 3 Reload expansion pass, that was all that DLC content for the Persona 3 game. That was on sale for $9.99. I bought that. I did go over my $20 limit for this one game, Blasphemous 2, and its full DLC was $25.42. So I did buy that. The Super Mario Galaxy 2 pack, I actually got that for $16.12. I was using my company gift cards and stuff for that. So I got that mad cheap. The all the deluxe DLC content for Gotham Knights to have the full definitive version, that was $2.49. I got that. God of War 3 Remastered on the PS4 was $10.84. I bought that. I did buy a MetaQuest case to put the MetaQuest in. That was like $32.99. I found out, so I didn't buy Beat Saber the game. That was also another game that was not on sale. So I didn't buy VR games, but Beat Saber, the demo was, I found the demo in there for free. So I downloaded the demo on the MetaQuest. I bought the all black Xbox headset for the Xbox. That was $99.99. That there was no point in getting that. that was a full blown I just got it because I wanted it, because I wanted that headset for a really long time. My other headsets was fine, but I knew this other headset over here that's all of a sudden malfunctioning didn't include the Xbox, and I was like, well, I could have that over there for the Xbox and the PC. Why not? So I bought that. Pure didn't need it, just bought it. And here's where it gets crazy. The Xbox Red version of the Elite 2 controller, I bought that bad boy. Another thing where I was just like, I didn't need to buy, I just bought it. And it was you know how they was talking about how those controllers are better than the other ones, and it's like once you get it, you can't put it down. Now I still can pick up my other controllers and still play it, and I don't feel like this was just so much better than the other one. But when I picked it up, I was like, I definitely felt the quality. I felt the quality immediately, and I was like taken aback by the quality. I bought it, and I bought the scuff version of the back pedals, which was additional $14.99. I think the Xbox Red Elite controller was $139.99. I bought it doesn't come with the charging case and extra pieces. I went on Amazon to get the red version, so everything matched. That was an additional $41.99, right? I kind of fell in love with this controller overnight. I ain't even gonna hold you up. And because I fell in love with the freaking controller, bro. You ready for this? I bought the DualSense Edge, bro. I had to. I don't know why. I had to do it. And that one, it was just as good. It was just the only problem with the DualSense Edge. So the footage that didn't work, the Astrobot footage, I was playing that with the DualSense Edge. I played like 30 minutes of that game. When I got out of the game, I noticed that, you know how the PlayStation's battery goes like 3 bars, 2 bars, 1 bar, that kind of thing. It was on 2 bars. and I knew it was fully charged. I was just like, okay, because I've heard about its battery life. That's like the only thing I could say about it. Is it probably still doesn't have a good battery life. Maybe you can still get a decent 3-ish hours out of it overall, but you might need the cord or just have a cord hooked up. That's the only thing I can say about it. Just like the other ones that came with like all its extra thingies and stuff. The Elite controllers are on a certain level on themselves. Like the next time we get into some real shooters and stuff, like I'm definitely gonna be using them for sure, for sure. I bought so for YouTube, I bought a second Elgato key light. That was $139.99. That's the one that's like you can adjust it like a professional view. I already have one. I just haven't really been on camera with it, but I needed a second one because I don't know if you remember like my videos from the past. But because of the glasses and everything, some of those lights was always in my glasses, and it was really like a bad view. And it was worse in person because in person the heat from it and the blinding light from it was just a little too much at times, which was a big reason why I wouldn't really make vids. But with the other ones, I can lower the light and it'll look like a lot more professional. And I wanted to have one so I could have the full setup where it's on the left and the right, just to make some good quality stuff. But no, it wasn't cheap. That was like that was a $139.99. The stand, I bought a stand mount for it that I'm actually taking back because it doesn't handle the weight. That was $21.90, but I'm taking that back probably Sunday. My best purchase, which is not gaming related. I bought a slush maker. Oh my God.
Said you would.
Thanksgiving was amazing. For anybody who really is willing to spare, definitely go get one. Walmart had one that was normally $300. It was marked down to $249.99. It makes milkshakes too. I'm not a milk person. I'm just gonna stick to the slush. The model I have the lower end model actually. It does slushes, spike slushes, and then milkshakes. I might not ever do the milkshake, but the slushes are top tier. I mean, just absolutely amazing. The biggest thing about me getting it was some of the 7-Elevens and stuff that's by me, they don't change their stuff up, and they always keep doing the brand names of just like your standard pops, Pepsi, Cola, Mountain Dew, and like I don't want to drink that, like Dr. Peppers and stuff. Like I don't want to drink. I want to drink some of the fruitier tasting stuff with the pop a little bit in it. And it's like honestly, that Ocean Spray drinks, those with a pop, amazing, absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. It was amazing. Okay, back on the PlayStation Store, there was a game called Metroid Origin. It's $2.11. I grabbed it. A game called After Us, $7.49. I grabbed that as well. All right. Sonic X Shadow was $15 at Walmart. I grabbed that. I grabbed some grips for the Quest 3S. Little hand grips and stuff. So like if you're doing all the punching, boxing type stuff or throwing stuff, you don't, throw it across the room and break your TV. That was $12.01. I bought a chef press, to press your hamburgers and stuff. That was $9.99. You feel me? Let's see. Portable heater. Yeah, I needed that. We ain't got our thermostat ready yet. $69.41. A game called Metal Gal. That was $1.05. A lot of these like dollar games that was on my wish list, I snagged pretty much all of them. And then, are you ready for the most useless thing I bought, bro? You ready for this? Bro, I bought the PS Portal. Let me tell you why I did it though. There was no real reason. It was because I bought the Edge. I had the money. My job was already telling me they're about to hand me this other check as well, for the rings and stuff, or a bunch of other stuff. I just bought it. I ain't even using it. I
Don't
bought
you
it.
have two different devices that can do it?
Yep.
All right.
I bought the Portal. I bought a case for it. The Portal was on sale for so the DualSense was on sale. DualSense Edge was $169. The Portal was $179. The case that I bought also came with a bunch of little like what's the things that you put on the Joy-Cons and stuff? I don't know what it's called. It came with that, and it also came with like a little glass case that comes around the controllers in the back of it. It has a nice little look. A little charging case. I had bought that. That was $33.99. And then I bought a cool little thing for my setup. So I have this thing that I think is called Soleon Soundbar. So it's a really small soundbar. It's $39.99. And it is for my reason for that is to set up a small portable kind of thing going on. It can hook up to the handhelds by Bluetooth, and you can listen, to dynamic sound while you still playing, in portable mode. But I also bought a monitor that I thought was pretty cool. It's a portable monitor, gaming monitor that's very, very popular out there. I think it's called Arzopa portable monitor, 144 hertz. It was $96.99, marked down from like $150. This, along with like some of my older systems and stuff, anything like I can set it up somewhere away from everything else portably, with the sound bar if I wanted to. Really small, sleek little thing, little sleek setup. I think it's a 16.1 inch monitor. Like I said, 144 hertz. I'm really gonna mess around with it a little bit later because I have this little setup on the side where I gotta paint the picture for you. I got the Rogue Ally set up next to a drawer with a bunch of Xbox games, right? And then the Elite controller is like slightly behind it. Right next to it is the Portal, the Elite or the Edge controller, and then another little shelf with a bunch of PlayStation games. Right underneath that shelf is another small shelf with like games in it, and then all my regular controllers is on their actual charging docks. I did buy one more PlayStation charging dock, and then next to it on the left is like all the regular Xbox controllers with another shelf with a bunch of Xbox games. And then the sound bar is like right there as well, and then it's a little mic arm kind of thing that I bought that was like really like $17 or something, that holds the portable monitor up almost to like make a monitor that you can kind of move around a little bit, all in the other room. And so like if I wanted to, I could just kind of like quickly put together a setup where I can dock one of the handhelds, or I can put something over there like let's say the Xbox 360 or the PS3, and play something like that. Depending on the price, the possible Steam machine could go over there as well. That would be awesome. And I had pretty much just set up another little setup, and it's just so cool. It's a cool little setup, different from all this big giant PCs and stuff towering over me over here. The reason why I did that is just because when you get off from work and stuff, you don't really want to, at least for me, I don't want to just sit and power on a whole bunch of big powerful devices. I kind of just want to pick up something small, turn the sound bar on, and just kind of play, or if I wanted to dock it real quick, just turn this little, monitor that I can move around real quick, and then I can just do that. That's what I got. I mentioned earlier in the day about the hot pot and everything. I bought one of those grills with the hot pot attachment. That bad boy was $88.99. Chef's kiss. I love it. I love it. I bought some double cast iron burners, some extra burners that you plug in, get the cooking going, because I'm about to be doing all this, steaks and stuff and everything. You know what I'm saying? The sea salts and stuff for it, you know what I mean? There's a popular sea salt online called Redmond Sea Salt. I bought that, was like $7.99. Let me see. Bro, I'm just going. There's a game on the eShop called Gunborg Dark Matters. It was $3.17. I had that on my list. It was just a little something that I wanted to get. As you all know, we in the snow season, so I ain't really trying to, clean my car off as much. It hasn't come in the mail yet, but I bought the car cover. I actually suggest a lot of people do this. Go buy the car cover. Look up your car model and stuff. It's $30. You put the car cover on top of the car, and it's supposed to be like a weather resistant thing, where when it's snowing stuff, it snows on that and not the car, and you ain't got to be scraping, the ice and stuff off of that bad boy. And then you could just kind of pull it off. It might have some weight on it depending on the snow. You pull it right off and then kind of flake it real quick, throw it right in your trunk, and just drive off. So yeah, I bought that. I think the last thing I think I'm gonna mention, which is funny, I bought this lump of coal. You ever hear when they say like you're on a naughty list, you get a lumpy coal? So they got like a prop version of that on Amazon. It was like $7.99 or something. I bought that because I'm about to get that to one of my coworkers and get on her nerves. So yeah, I did that. Let me put y'all on to something. Go to your butcher. And well, it might be a little too late now, but go to your butcher and buy all the premium red meat and chicken wings, because they usually go on sale right after Thanksgiving, because everybody was buying the turkeys and the hams and all of that, and they were neglecting the wings and the steaks and the other meat, and hamburger meat as well. It's a great time to actually stock up the freezer with all of that. Just putting y'all on. But yeah, man, that was everything. I think that's everything.
That's a lot.
That's everything I wrote down, at least. A lot of stuff. No rhyme or reason. Some of it was just I was just like, you know what, bro? Just get it. Why not?
Enjoy it.
Just get it. I grabbed a bunch of stuff. All right. We've been here way too long. I promise we're gonna wrap this up fast. Xbox Partner Showcase. Did you watch this thing?
Yep.
How you feel about this? How you feel about the showcase?
Some things that I thought was interesting.
33 minutes. 33 minutes long.
I don't know. It sometimes feels weird to me how much they still keep trying to go like play anywhere and day pet. Like we get it at this point. Like we all know everything's play everywhere. And
I thought that was interesting though, because they did so they did mention in the beginning that it's all gonna be play anywhere, so you don't have to pay extra. If you buy one version, you'll get the other version. But they actually did not mention Game Pass as a day one, like any of these being day one Game Pass games.
Not all of them were. They did like what they would do is show 6 games and then show a summary of the 6 games, and that's where it said which of the games were each one, about 2 of them or 3 of them were day one, but not the ones like most people would want. But they showed it there. They didn't announce it when they would say it. It was only when they showed their little 6 game recap.
Yeah, the Play Anywhere campaign is still their main focus right now. Um, and so yeah, that's what they were focusing on. Now, as far as this little showcase though, they had some stuff. They had
Yeah.
some stuff here. There was a couple things that I've seen in the past that I didn't really pay too much attention to, but they definitely had some other stuff here. That very first game I thought looked
Uh-huh.
really good. Armadas, which is supposed to come out in 2026. It looked like a faster, non-Souls like Remnant to me, honestly.
Yeah.
I was all over that, man. I wish list that immediately. How'd you feel about that first game?
Yeah. That was on my list too. It looked great.
All right, did you like the second one? I didn't write
The
everything down,
Mount,
but I did write the second one. It was called The Mound, The Omen.
yep, Omen of Cthulhu. I wrote that one. I thought it started off strong. Then it was like the
Hmm.
next like couple I didn't like too much, but I thought it started off like very strong with those two games.
Yeah, that one, more of a horror-ish type feel, kind of like Doom in a way, but a little bit more grittier. They gave the date summer 2026. Um, I'm hoping Game Awards do this type of thing. You got to, if it's not exact dates, at least throw the 2026 up there. At least 2026. Um, but yeah. Um, did you? How do you feel about Crow Scorn? This has been shown
Yeah,
before. Say it again.
didn't, didn't care for it.
So how could you didn't care for it?
Nothing about it kind of caught my attention. Like when I was going through it, I don't even remember what it is. Like it didn't catch
It
my
it was
attention.
like the Penguin meets Hollow Knight basically. You play as this dude who's kind of like dressed up. He kind of has a Hollow Knight mask, but he's
I'm
more of a
the
penguin.
crow guy with the Reaper,
Yeah.
uh, or with the scythe. Yeah, I saw it and just went, yeah, this is a game for you.
I mean, if you are a fan of Hollow Knight, for anybody out there, this is definitely almost exactly like Hollow Knight, but you play as a whole different creature. Absolutely, I will be on it. I will play. I'm gonna go through Hollow Knight and Silk Song first, obviously, and then catch this on the back end on the sale. But yeah, that's something that I've had written down a long time ago. That's not new to me. Um, but the next thing that I wrote down, because I think I skipped a few things in here, Total Chaos. It's more of a horror shooter. That one I think they said was available right now. So I think it's showing up on the eShop for $24.99. It does have a demo associated with it. But yeah, Total Chaos. Did you write that down or you skipped that?
Nope,
Skip
skip
it.
that one too.
All right, what did you
The
have
next one for
next?
me, which I knew probably most people wouldn't care about, but it's my style of game. Echo Generation 2, which was like some dude fighting like plague monsters and stuff, but like it was card based, turn based.
Okay. I don't think I have that one. The next thing that I actually wrote down here was Reanimal. This one, I believe this is the one that they actually had a concrete date. February 13th, 2026. Another horror-ish game. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Friday, February 13th. It's co-op, and it also has a demo, so anybody can go check it out early if you want to. Um, but yeah, I wrote that down. Did you skip this?
Is that the one that looked like Little Nightmares?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked okay. It wasn't on my list, but I figured you was probably gonna bring that one up for us to try out. So nothing like, crazy about
Yeah,
it,
I
but
mean, I could throw it on the co-op list. That's no problem. But yeah, I had wrote that one down. Um, the next one actually put some stars next to it. Actually, I liked what I saw. Funny enough, because I don't like the other game that they came out with, but this one's I put down is called Zoopunk.
yep.
Um, a Zootopia looking game or something. You had
Yeah.
the
Based on Fist, Shadow, Torch, or whatever.
yeah,
Fist
because
like
I didn't care too
some
much for the Fist game. I didn't care too
Forge and
much. Yeah,
it's
it's the
called.
2D version.
Yeah.
This is a 3D version. It looks better to me.
Yeah,
it looks a lot
and from
better.
my understanding, the story is the prequel, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
The prequel
So
is
it's like
better, but
maybe I
yeah.
might go grab the other one or give it a shot after playing this. But
Hmm.
yeah, this one I paid more attention to. It looked like it might have some co-op elements. At first they just had the bunny and then all of a sudden they threw out all the other animals.
I don't think so.
Uh
I think it's just a low action game.
okay. Well, they put the date 2027, so they're going to give it some
Hmm.
time, which is fine, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Unfortunately, I don't think that one is on a bunch of places where you can actually wish list it yet. They didn't have the storefront up for it. So you're gonna have to like, put it on a sticky note or something. But I'm sure it'll come back later and we can wish list it
Yeah.
later. Um Now I ain't write this down as something I want to play. It's something that I thought was ridiculous before when I first heard it. But I was like, you know what? It came up again. I'm gonna address it. Eminem in the Hitman
Oh,
game.
yeah.
I
So here's my issue with it. Not that
go
it's like anything too crazy. It's like do whatever. My
yeah
problem is that so the whole storyline is Eminem hiring the hitman to take down Slim Shady.
yeah
The Eminem Slim Shady rivalry was the premise of his last album. Like that was the whole
yeah.
point of the album. If you listen to it forward, it was like Eminem breaking away from Slim Shady. If you listen to it backwards in order, then it's Slim Shady corrupting Eminem again. Like that was the purpose of it, was trying to separate the two. I feel like this DLC was supposed to come out when that came out. It's
That's
weird that
not
it's like a year
yeah.
later.
I'm like this don't fit. It just don't fit. It don't fit Hitman to me. It just doesn't fit.
Apparently, it does. When I talk to people, the
Okay.
whole point of Hitman, even though they present things as like a serious thing,
Hmm.
Hitman player base is how silly can I make this contract kill? Like apparently, according to the players, I have a friend who said it. That I brought up the Hitman movie, and he's like, "Was it a comedy?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Well, then it wasn't a good Hitman movie. You can already tell, because the whole point is to be goofy. I mean, there's a whole scene where you're wearing a bathrobe, a woman's bathrobe, hunting down, I think, like nuns or something in a cornfield. Well, like still, like the game is not supposed to be serious. So to
Hmm.
me, it is right up its alley. It's just a year late.
Yeah, maybe I'm not hip because I actually didn't catch the album, but that's okay.
The album's
But
pretty good.
yeah,
I like it. Um, what I'll also say though, I did have one other game, which was another super goofy, like silly game, but I'm kind of interested in it, called Roadside Research, where you're aliens pretending to be humans, collecting data for an alien invasion, and in order to collect your data, you have to pretend to run a gas station store without alerting like the Men in Black.
okay,
So it just looks like a dumb co-op game where you're just trying to manage and stock stuff, but as soon as you start not looking human, then it's like game over, and you're trying to like try and do stuff to make look human, and like all it is they're alien bodies, but they have a square piece of cardboard, like taped to their face with like a drawn face on it, and for some reason no one can tell.
okay. The last thing I actually wrote down, I actually had this game on the wish list before, but I wrote it down again just because the boss fight here was pure heat. Tides of Annihilation. Um,
Was that the
I
game where they just showed off the full boss fight?
Yeah, it was just action. It was just cool action everywhere. Um, I was sold. I was definitely sold on it. There were some moments where the action didn't match what the at least to me the health meters work where they were doing stuff but the boss health meter didn't really go down, and I think it was because they were trying to show off the full fatality or whatever. But yeah, I was sold, absolutely sold. That's been on my wish list. So it kind of reminds me of like Stellar Blade, with a girl with her clothes on, I guess, mixed with a little
Hmm.
bit of Final Fantasy 16. I'm like, I play the hack and slashes. I play them all day. And this one was really good. I liked what I saw. Cool little showcase. I thought it was a very good showcase for it to be like 30 minutes. A lot of things that I was looking forward to. A couple things there, here and there, that I've already seen before, that I didn't write down, and some stuff that I did write down just because I thought it was awesome looking. Just the presentation. The boss fight was a great way to end this. But yeah, play anywhere campaign. That is kind of exciting for me, especially with all of my little quirky setups that I have, because I will literally be playing anywhere in the house. However I do it, so I'm excited for some of this stuff. Any last words on this?
Nope.
All right. We went way too long. But bear with me for at least 2 more minutes. I promise. No more than 2 minutes. Because I just wanted to mention the December game releases. The games that kind of already came out, and then a few of them that's coming out later on this month. Now, we already mentioned some of the stuff that I was talking about before, which was Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, that came out December 4th. Marvel Cosmic Evasion came out December 1st. Cool title. I think that was also in Game Pass day one. Octopath Traveler 0 also came out December 4th, today, which I didn't even know. I thought that was like a little bit later on. SpongeBob Patty Pursuit 2. Apple Arcade also coming out today. I didn't know nothing about that. And then the last thing I do want to mention, which I don't know if you knew this, but on December 10th, Mutant Football League 2 is releasing.
Hey.
Which I didn't know they were going to do a second one. I feel guilty for not picking back up the first one. But
one game.
I'll keep that on my radar just to see like what changes could they have made. But yeah, Mutant Football League 2. I didn't see a trailer, nothing, no showcase, nothing. I ain't know nothing about it. I just looking right at it on the list. You hear about this? You know anything about this?
Oh, not at all.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, that's it. That's the list. That's our long marathon podcast. Did you have fun? All right. Sorry for it being long-winded. Next Sunday. I actually think we probably should not meet again until after the rewards show, because that would make the most sense. Anyway, which is next week. So we'll figure it out off air, and we'll get back to the people. Thank you so much, everybody. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I will catch you on the next time. We'll talk about the actual winners and releases, and that'll be the whole show. Hopefully it won't be as long as this, I promise. But yeah, peace.